Can an electric vehicle that is essentially from 2012 keep up with new modern competitors? I will tell you, the result will be very interesting. Welcome to the Tesla Model S in the updated or facelift version and the Plaid model here, the top sporty version, around 2 seconds in the acceleration figure, over 1000 horsepower. It's basically a hypercar from stock. Like 75 kilometers an hour. Holy. What the? 250 kilometers an hour? Oh my god. Thomas and Autogefühl for you in 4K, full screen, full length. Let's go. Here in the front we can see a new lower part. Everything from one piece also goes through right here. Also a little bit wider to house even wider tires. New headlamps here, LED. The daytime running light stays like this. And the air is being channeled through here and also here, right there. So for even more aerodynamics, it is one of the most aerodynamic cars overall. The length at 4,98 or 196 inches. And interesting that we now have a black styling all over the vehicle. That counts both for the normal Model S with dual motor, around 3 seconds in acceleration figure, and also for the Plaid model with around 2 seconds in the acceleration figure. Rolling start, so a couple of tenths more from standing still start. Yeah, Tesla is always cheating a little bit with the figures, making it even more extreme. Then here you can see here, blacked out frames, the so-called chrome delete, also with the door handles. Here in this case also black wheels, 21 inch, but you could also go for smaller 19 inch wheels for even more comfort. However, for comfort, it's equipped with the air suspension, and that works very well here with the Model S. It's a big difference, for example, to the more, less expensive Model 3, which do not offer air suspension then. Here also, very strong shoulder part. I really liked it, or hip part, you can also say that. And interesting that this Plaid model here comes with 3 electric motors. So 2 at the rear, 1 for each wheel, and that enables even better torque vectoring. If you put even wider tires and also retrofit carbon ceramic brakes, then it is possible to unlock the top speed to 320 kilometers an hour or 200 miles per hour. Where you want to drive that? Even in Germany, come on. Well, but this one doesn't have it. However, it is still extremely quick and fast. And the top speed of the normal version, the normal Plaid version, we will test today on the German Autobahn. Let's see later how fast that goes. In the rear, the typical Model S styling, however, a little bit more refined, and here again with the black accentuations that work very well, I think. And then here you have this Plaid badge of this grid from Spaceballs. I can just recommend watching that movie. One of my favorite of all times indeed. It's really so funny. And I actually watched it before watching the original Star Wars movies because my parents thought that I could take Spaceballs, but I was too young to watch the real Star Wars movie because Jabba the Hutt should have been so frightened. Yeah. Interesting story from my childhood, definitely. I love both Spaceballs and original Star Wars. Not the very newest episodes though. Damn Disney. Back to the car. Then here, the carbon fiber lip, really interesting. And carbon fiber is also a secret to the motors, which are carbon wrapped and therefore can take these extreme revolutions. Very interesting indeed. And news as for towing now, up to 1.6 tons. First time the Model S is also approved for towing. Not as much as the Model X, for example. That one would be at 2.25 tons towing capacity. The battery at 100 kilowatt hours net, however, now with heat pump. That means it will also have decent range in winter times, and a very realistic one indeed, because it's so efficient, is indeed 500 kilometers or 300 miles. Even better if you drive, very, very optimized, and maybe worse when you hammer it through all the way. But 500 kilometers, 300 miles is a very realistic range. And now, as I said, even in winter times, thanks to this new heat pump system. And recharging, about 250 kilowatt DC peak at the supercharger. You open it right here, AC, DC, and you can charge 10 to 80% in less than 30 minutes. Moving towards the interior, you can see here flush door handles for better aerodynamics, but when we open the vehicle, here we go, they come out, and also door closing sound is very solid, although it's a vehicle with frameless doors. That's pretty cool. Soft materials, all animal free, that's so important. Carbon fiber insert. You now open the doors from here with this capacitive field. And this is a nice grey fabric, the Scandinavian furniture design, I would call it. Then Model S entry badge and a completely new yoke steering wheel. That means cut off upper part, really straight at the bottom. We'll test today how that one plays out in low and also high speed driving. And these seats here also completely redesigned, new ergonomics and also new surfaces. Now with perforation, it's really soft and plush here also on the seating area as well, all animal free, so a really great quality, and now also combinable once again with seat cooling. This reworked interior is really impressive indeed, how clean it looks, and then 17-inch screen, no horizontal stress. And a very interesting thing is for sure this display tilt. I really prefer to have it like this than here while driving, just more towards me. But you can also put it stationary to the passenger side. That is possible. Maybe not the most used function. That you can see everything best on camera is of course the center. By the way, if you see any colored irritations on the screen, that's just on camera. Here on your own eye, everything is really crisp. You can also get this satellite view and it's really responsive. They've done a great job with the software, one of the leading systems for sure. And here you can also go light or dark appearance, or you can switch it auto, then it appears according to the light sensors, for example. Suspension setting, you can also change here comfort, auto, sport and advanced. You can also adapt it a little bit, so you can change so much here, also the ride height of the air suspension, or just let everything controlled more automatically. Steering mode, how much resistance you have here, you can also change, so much things to change. Temperature unit here in the lower part, or you can also set the voice control. Temperature 22 degrees. There we go. So this is also then a quick reaction. The keycard has to be placed right here for driving now, by the way. And the interesting thing is, for start driving, they want you to do either here P or then here slide forward for the drive mode or slide backward for reverse. To have it here in the screen is somewhat irritating indeed. You get used to it, but there's no stock column for that left anymore. However, it can also be controlled here from this lower area. You can still press these buttons then, for example, for reverse, neutral, or D for the drive mode. I think it's better to still have that. I still wonder why Tesla is reluctant to Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, but what is good that they have two nice microfiber covered inductive charging pads here in the front, so your two phones can also be together while being charged. There we go. So, and then this area, carbon fiber cover, nice that we don't have high gloss black piano like or something. You slide open, and here in our Tesla Model X test vehicle, it didn't work that well from a build quality, but here you see it's actually fine. Goes forward and then like this, half stop and all the way back again. So, and then this one, cubby hole, slide open, cup holders, also somewhat adaptive. Could be a little bit better from build quality here, and then more space underneath. Really here, this middle armrest, really good from build quality. It has been well attached now, and underneath even more space. Digital instruments, clear to read, clear to see, and when you put it in the drive mode, it looks like this. Digital speed right there, and when you have a GPS route set actually, then it also appears in the left part, but you have to continue. There we go. Start driving with that. Very interesting that the turning indicators are now at the steering wheel. Here, right or left. It is this capacitive thing, however, but you do get some kind of feedback. And you also see that when you use the turning indicators, you also get this kind of blind spot or turning camera here, right side and left side, as an additional helper in the infotainment system. And the sound system, 22 speakers now upgraded. And interesting is you can actually turn that immersive sound off or then put higher, and that this immersive sound is more like three-dimensional sound, and I really like it. Yeah, it's really cool sound for music lovers. Rear seating area, first of all, nice soft touch materials here also at the back part, carbon fiber insert. So the build quality really has been improved over the years with the Model S. That's good to have like a refined model that is not all new, but refined. Here, take a look at the interior, also the same seating materials, now with these perforated high-grade leatherette seats. Looks cool, feels cool, Isofix at the outside parts each. Yeah, it's a long sedan, all EV, but what about the seating comfort and the legroom and so on? Well, as I'm driving here, hardly fits with the legs, so not really using the length of the vehicle. And the comfort of the back seat, well, the seats themselves, they are way better now. However, you see here how much space I have here. It's really not something ideal for tall people in the back. As for the headroom with 1.89 meters or 6'2", it does work because I have space underneath the glass roof. But again, it's not ideal here for tall people when tall people are also driving. And since this is all EV, you don't have like a middle tunnel here. But then again, this middle seating here, it works then with the legs maybe here, but this back part here is kind of stiff, so it's also not ideal to sit in the middle part here. Looking through the panoramic roof from here, that is actually quite cool, and also with a new screen. Here, this new screen, look at that here, where you control the vents, looks fancy, and it works actually quite well, no problem. Yeah, that you don't have this manual thing anymore, but that way it's a cleaner solution actually. And then you can also change the temperature right here, and you can also use it for streaming. Here, Netflix, Disney Plus, YouTube. Yeah, Disney has all the Star Wars now, we know it. But here, of course, best thing is to always use the YouTube search and put Autogefühl. You can also just say UHA without the German umlaut, and then some suggestions, or then just pick your favorite model name. For example, if you want to see the competitor, like EQE AMG, like this, and then we directly get to our review. There we go, one of the competitors right here. And then you can also now stream that in your Tesla Model S. And yeah, please watch the ads or go for YouTube Premium, that we also can produce our videos even further. Oh yeah, Polestar 3, we will also come up with a review of that very shortly. What about that frunk? Yeah, there is one, and also quite well usable one, maybe for charging cables or for whatever you prefer, but definitely very well usable. Your luggage will fly all over the place when you use this harsh plaid acceleration, so let's take a look at the trunk or the boot. So here you have this cover, this nice microfiber. You can fold this up like this, or you can remove it completely. It's both possible. The width here in the back part is a little bit less than a meter or 40 inches, but barely less, and wider here between the wheel arches. This is a very, very large opening than here for charging cables and everything. And you can see here just luggage here that you can have approximately an understanding of how high it is, and even here underneath the cover it's no problem. As for the length, we can here unlock the seats all right there, but then we have to push them. It's a 1/3, 2/3 split, and when we have pushed it all the way through, about 1.90 meters or 74 inches, that's of course really massive. And what about the overall height right here? Almost 27 inches, a little bit less, or that's 68 centimeters. Here we are, German motorway, Tesla Model S Plaid, and acceleration from 100 kilometers an hour. Plop to 200 kilometers an hour. Oh, that even created pressure on the inside of the ears. Still alive? Ooh. Oh. Yeah. Talking about G-force, that is definitely G-force. Wow. Yeah, that's even beyond ludicrous. Absolutely crazy and so effortless, and is really planted on the ground. The air suspension gives us comfort. At the same time, it gives us also a sporty feeling of the vehicle. The steering wheel is very direct indeed, kind of crisp. You don't have to do hectic steering, but here you see, so it reacts to fine reactions, so you don't oversteer then on the motorway, otherwise you're going all over the place here. So really be gentle with the steering, and especially if you want to stress out your passengers too much, be also gentle with the throttle. And of course in both ways, because the recuperation is also pretty strong. It's typical Tesla one pedal driving, but wow, that acceleration is absolutely nuts. However, when cruising here at about 120 kilometers an hour, like 70 miles an hour, noise cancellation is good. They also use active noise cancellation then here now, and that means we have a very, very nice silent feeling in here. It's not that bad that you have this vacuum feeling in your ears. Oh no, wait a minute, I need to... Holy moly. And we're gone. That GTI was behind us and then it's like disappeared. Whew. And you don't have any acoustic feedback for that. So otherwise, when you are in these combustion engine sports and you're like, then you know, oh, something is happening. But here I always compare it in a way, just imagine you're sitting at home on your sofa or maybe on a chair or something, and someone who's like this, and then you're like 200 meters more further in the front. Your brain cannot really cope with that. So even as a driver, even when you know when the acceleration is happening, it's still really hard to cope with that. And you see here, even when we are already at speed, like around 30 kilometers an hour, like 80 miles an hour, whoa, there's still more push, and that was 200. That is absolutely crazy. So never, yeah, it brings a smile to your passengers when they like acceleration. So I cannot recommend carrying any passengers who don't like acceleration in this vehicle, because they might puke all over the place here in that vehicle. There's the acoustic warning also when I'm getting over the lane. Yeah, now we're getting to another, wow, really cool lane change here as well. The driving feeling is phenomenal, and I really like the suspension as well. It's not too stiff, not too soft at all. Here now in this transition between the two motorways, wow, it's a lot of fun. And here on the motorway, I'm really enjoying the yoke steering wheel. It feels like in a Formula 1 car. It feels like gaming. So you really have to do reality checks. I mean, with this acceleration, with this steering wheel, it's like, wait a minute, I'm still in reality. I'm not in an arcade game or something. Wow, this is amazing. Wow, great sporty feeling, so much fun, and we are in a large EV sedan. We're carrying so much weight, but due to the low center of gravity, it's no problem at all. And I mean, this acceleration is so fast. You know, I'm like just slightly on the throttle, and it's going forward so effortless, actually. Wow. We can do another acceleration while steering, by the way. Here, that is also very interesting. We can drop down the speed a little bit, because here we have now a good chance, unlimited speed. There's no one behind us, hardly anyone in front of us. Dropping the speed now to like 75 kilometers an hour. Holy, what the? 250 kilometers an hour. Oh my god. Top speed 266, 267. Holy, what the hell? This, I'm not sure if this should be legal. I mean, it is legal what I just did, but just you have to be very careful, of course, doing this on public roads. And you feel that pressure on your ear? Oh, it's like, it's really like when a plane is taking off or a plane is landing. Oh, whoa. Is that a speed camera? No, it's not. Gladly not. Whoa. This is messing with your brain totally. So, probably for most of the time, I would just recommend putting it in chill acceleration. And when you push the throttle, then it is limited, but still fast enough. Then it would be, oh, okay, this is then like a normal vehicle. And sport would be something in between, that you already have a great push, but don't that super extreme feeling. Yeah, showing off from time to time, but you, please, everyone who buys this vehicle or owns this vehicle, hardly I ever say that about vehicle, but please be careful with that. You know, you need to have a lot of experience to be able to handle this one. This is so fast, it is extremely dangerous. Not because it's a bad vehicle, not at all. You know, it's a very safe vehicle and great crash safety results and so on. But this kind of acceleration, and the same would be also to another, you know, super sports car or something. It's even not a supercar. This is already a hypercar, but from stock. You know, it's probably like the only hypercar from stock. Wow, I really gotta I think I gotta digest here a little bit. Woo. Yeah, I mean, like a slide push is a lot of fun actually. So I would say like midway through, it's still in a way where your body says like, hey, this is fun. But hammering the throttle all the way through, I really have to say, this is one of the very rare vehicles where the acceleration can be beyond fun because it's just too extreme. And let me just try again with that sport mode. So when I drop down a little bit and then let's hammer in the sport mode here. Yeah, that's good actually. So in the sport mode you can hammer it all the way through and it's still fun. So to me it would definitely be chill or sport mode when you are in normal driving situations. And then maybe play it when everything is free, you want to show off once or something, but really extra precaution, and then it should actually be better. I really like this suspension together with the wheel combination. It's a good choice. So with the Model X, I would always go with the 20-inch wheels here. 21-inch work. If you want more comfort, stick with the 19 one. But here the 21-inch combo, it's a good visual on the outside, but still you have enough comfort on the inside. When you compare, by the way, Tesla Model X and Tesla Model S, yes, in this upgrade here, they are, kind of similar in a way. The main difference is, of course, here you have more this planted sedan seating position. In the Model X, more upright. Here, I would say on short trips, the Model X is more comfortable. On longer trips, sitting a little bit lower, feeling less G-forces might be more comfortable here with the Model S. To me, the interesting thing is that here now with this seat upgrade here, they both get similar seats. And before, I was not really happy, especially with the seats in the Model S. This combination of having sedan seating position and the seat ergonomics not being so good would have me drawn from the Model S and more to the Model X. Here now, the seats are way better. So I would also feel comfortable in the Model S. The Model X, of course, has even more like unique special approach with the whole vehicle concept. And then when you compare Model 3 or Model Y, I would indeed, when the budget is allowing it, rather go for S and X, especially now with this update. Before the 3 and the Y, they're more modern and so on. And here now, everything has been evened up, There you have a great modern new concept. You have a heat pump now that works. The efficiency is also really great, and so on and so on. You can also reset the trip meter and see if what we consume when we more have like steady driving, when we put out these extreme accelerations and so on and so on. So meanwhile, I would tend to Model S and X again. And then the question is just if you have that SUV feeling or not, what you prefer. Because suspension in Model 3 and Model Y is to me too stiff, too rough, or like boop, 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 boop. Here I really prefer the air suspension. It's just a way better, more comfortable ride. I really, really like that. And noise insulation wise, it's also really good. With this active noise cancellation, it works very well, and you don't have this vacuum feeling which I sometimes had when driving vehicles with active noise cancellation. But maybe they went over the top. I know it from the Ford Kuga, for example, or from the Mercedes S-Class Maybach. There was just too much of this active noise cancellation, but here it's actually fine. And build quality-wise, they've also stepped up the game. So indeed, where maybe in the past was like, hey, we have like these super interesting solutions for the software, but in the driving quality, it doesn't keep up with the Germans. Here now in driving, feels good from suspension, is very nice, direct steering and so on. It really also keeps up in these driving hardware aspects with the German competitors. Of course, a Mercedes EQE AMG would be one of the direct comparison in this respect. Oh, just feel I have to do some neck exercise, I think, when I get home. yeah, this is really getting some stress on your neck. Maybe I recommend like the head restraint is kind of stiff. When you're doing these kind of accelerations, better first push your head into the head restraint. That is really keeping you away from whiplash. Right here, also Tesla Model 3 behind us now. Yeah, I think also I found the S more beautiful as for the exterior styling too, as well, by the way. And here in this narrow, construction site on the Autobahn, this actually doesn't feel too wide, although it's a little bit wider than before. Very easy to control. So when you don't have it on the plat mode and accelerate the hell out of here, it is actually also a comfortable silent ride. So you can also use this vehicle here just to relax. You don't have to attack all the way, but of course, if you like, you can do that. Another difference, X and S, will be that this one here is more efficient. So when you drive slower or faster, in both ways, especially actually when you go faster, because of the drag coefficient, it's even better than in the Model X, and therefore the energy consumption will be even lower, and this also then pushes the range. And indeed, efficiency is really, really good now when I have put out these extreme accelerations. So we are at figures below 20 kilowatt hours on 100 kilometers. So at the moment, like for example 17, and that means like less than 27 kilowatt hours on 100 miles. So this 500 kilometers or 300 miles of real world, realistic range, even in wintertime now, is really, that's for real, because now fitted with the heat pump for X and S, this one then now is, less difference of summer range and winter range. Very good thing to have. So long range or high distance driving is also possible now. And once again, also just cruising 100 kilometers an hour, 60 miles an hour, very comfortable. But of course, you can, let the hounds of hell out anytime you want. So when easing the car in and out on the parking lot here, for example, you see it works. That's no one has seen that. I'm not staying here, of course. So like this, it works, of course, but with a round steering wheel, it's a little bit easier here, like, when grabbing around. But you see, with this technique, it works, but you cannot let it slide, that you would do with the round steering wheel and so on. You get used to it, but I wouldn't say it's ideal for easing the car in and out on the parking lot, so on, or maybe like, grab over here. You'll find some ways to do that. And I mean, when you're stationary or like parking in and out, it's also not really a security issue. I think the biggest problem would be when you are in a tight corner and then have to grab around. That could indeed be some kind of a problem. But on the motorway, as I said, it was no problem at all. That was really, really nice and felt sporty and just somehow cool, So here we go. Bumps in the road. This road is really uneven, and the air suspension is evening that out very well. 19 or 21-inch wheels are available then here for this one. And the thing is that with the 21-inch wheels, as we have it here at the moment, I think it's okay. If you want more comfort, of course, you would stick with the 19-inch wheels. But the 21-inch here work. I have had the experience with the Tesla Model X, where we had the 22-inch wheels mounted, and that was less comfortable from these small bumps in the road, So here, then with the 21-inch, it's definitely better. However, once again, for the best comfort, then stick with the 19-inch wheels. In the city, it's already a lot of fun here, and even if you just slightly press the throttle, it goes forward so well. If you go for the sport or the chill mode, that is a little bit relaxed, a little bit more relaxed in the city then. Other than that, the plat mode, showing off to your friends or something, but when you're using this car every day, on and on and on, then you would rather keep it in the slower acceleration modes. Using these turning indicators, you get used to that quite quickly actually. So some of the innovations are actually fine or okay, and they really clean things up. At first you think, oh, what am I doing? But then you see, okay, I use this one, and that's okay. So this is one of the things, it's really fine, and I'm also happy that we have the drive mode selector here in the lower part, so you don't have to do everything in the screen. I think that's a good solution, that you at least offer the customer both possibilities. Well, we can also do some, better get off the road quick. Okay, so it's really astonishing, like this get-go jump from the traffic light. It's so extreme, and more extreme than sometimes your body actually can bear. And from the outside, it still looks a little bit in disguise, when you see like a Porsche 911 Turbo S or something, everyone's like, oh, it's like a super sporty vehicle, and what's happening now when the acceleration on the traffic light? But here it's more like, okay, Tesla Model S, it's a normal model, but then you bam, and you're off. So that's really, really something, even when driving in the city. You rather have to check out that you don't hit the speed camera then, and of course for safety, just this is essentially also a weapon, this vehicle, because it is really so extremely fast. But you can, even in this plat mode, tune it in a very fine way. Of course, always, as we know from Tesla here, when you lift your throttle, then your accelerator pedal, as we can call it here in the EVs, then there's a strong recuperation. So one pedal driving is what Tesla intends to, that you hardly use the rear brakes. You just use this one pedal for acceleration and also then for the braking. And when you get to the motorway again, you can easily hammer. And I mean, just like these in between, like 50 to 80. Hold your breath. That's it. It's absolutely crazy. As for assistance systems, I said it here, the autopilot on the steering wheel with a click, and then I can also adjust the speed here by scrolling up. And so far the lane is also being kept in a nice way. I'm supposed to keep my hands on the steering wheel as well. And there's not like a sudden or hectic movement or something like that. Of course, never trust in it 100%. What can be quite challenging here is that the vehicle is suggesting which speed is allowed here at this moment, and then it's always adjusting the speed according to that. But sometimes the speed is changed, and then you set the cruise control, but it's a completely different speed than it's allowed at this moment. So maybe like a more current traffic sign recognition would help then in this respect for that. And that also, one press on the brake is also cancelling the cruise control, and then you can take everything yourself in your own hands again. A serious competitor? Is there one? Well, maybe the Mercedes EQE as the AMG version, or you might want to tune into another sporty EV, the BMW i4.